Are Lowe's and Home Depot buying 5-star reviews? I've uncovered case after case that proves that there's something fishy going on with the product reviews on our two favorite home improvement sites. To start off, let me introduce you to a couple of programs that you might not have heard of from both Home Depot and Lowe's. Home Depot offers what's called the Seeds program, which provides members with free products so they can post opinions about new and pre-released items. Lowe's has something nearly identical called the Lowe's Loop program. Free products in exchange for reviews. Now both of these are invite only, and both sites indicate that you can get into these by leaving frequent high quality reviews, especially ones that get upvoted by other viewers of the site. But those are just the two free product programs. Each of the stores actually has other well-defined programs in place to help them get the reviews that they're after. There's the Home Depot Review program, which compensates participants with a small incentive, often in form of a gift card, in exchange for, of course, leaving a review. Lowe's, on the other hand, has the Lowe's Incentivized Review program, or LERP as I like to call it.
I don't know, it's a dad joke, right?
Which, once again, compensates eligible customers with a small reward in the form of an e-gift card in exchange for reviewing the product that you purchased. You'll also find tons of these sweepstakes entry reviews littered all across the Lowe's website. If you hover over it, it states, "Sweepstakes winner is randomly selected monthly during the promotional period." Did that make any sense to you? I didn't think so. I'll show you how I crawled through literally thousands upon thousands of reviews. Believe me, it was not fun, but I wanted to prove that these programs are causing an absolute and undeniable bias in the reviewers who are leaving the ratings. In fact, it's driving up their ratings to the point where they are just not comparable to those who are not in the program. I'll also show you how, in the majority of the products that I investigated, there was not one single one-star review left by people who are in these programs.
You know, there's something fishy about those two.
Like I said, definitely fishy. All right, so let's take a look at an actual example here. This Cobalt snowblower on Lowe's website has a total of 196 reviews. Now, 77 of these are from regular paying customers like you and me. Now, 99 on the other hand are from the Lowe's Loop program, and that means they got the product for free. The other 20 are from the Sweepstakes entry review program. To be clear, I did not find anything very definitive about what these Sweepstakes entry reviews actually are. This just doesn't make sense to me, and I don't know why they're not more clear about it. What I suspect is that you could get extra entries to a sweepstakes if you volunteer to leave reviews on different products. The more reviews you leave, the more entries you get into a sweepstake. I don't know. I mean, that could kind of make sense, but I'm not sure what else to say because everywhere I looked, there was no straight answer to what these sweepstakes entries were other than that little pop-up, which doesn't tell us much. All right, so let's break down the average ratings for the different review categories. First, regular paying customers, not part of any program, gave this product an abysmal average rating of 2.58 stars. Wow, that is an incredibly low score, especially on Lowe's and Home Depot sites where the average score has got to be at least about 4. I feel like everything's kind of bloated on these sites, so 2.58 is horrible. Next, the sweepstakes entry reviews came in only slightly higher with a rating of 2.75 stars. Now for the shocking part here. Now remember, the average score is 2.58 for you and I, right? If you're in the Loop program, your average score there, 4.23 stars. It's way higher. That's almost 1 3/4 of a star higher than people who didn't get the product for free. So obviously, giving someone something for free makes a big difference. So here's the question. How are we supposed to trust any of these ratings when we have these kinds of shenanigans going on, and where else are these happening that we're not even aware of? Now, to shed some additional light on this, I'm going to take you back to 2015, where I got an email from a company that was not Amazon, but was a third party representing some Amazon suppliers. And they said, "Hey, we see that you've left some reviews on Amazon, and we would like to give you free or discounted products in exchange for reviews on Amazon." Sound a little bit familiar? Of course, right? So I started getting all kinds of stuff. I got everything from floodlights to drill bits to kitchen aprons, and all of it either like 50 to 80% off, and in many cases absolutely free because of the coupon code they gave us. So guess what happens when you start getting all these different products for free and you feel a little overwhelmed by all this stuff, but you don't want to say no because you're getting the products super cheap or free and you could use them. But over time, I'm a little embarrassed to say it, but I started to get really lazy with these reviews.
Just a jealous, lazy bum.
I didn't compare them to something else. I didn't do any homework on them. I didn't actually even put them through a rigorous testing phase or anything like that. I started to leave really crappy reviews. Basically, I would say, I got the product, I'm gonna give it a 5-star review, I'm gonna give it a 4-star review, whatever it is, I'll just write something real quick. Well, you can see what's happening there. It's the same thing that's happening today with the Lowe's and Home Depot programs. This all went on for a while until one day in November of 2016, we're talking about 7 years ago here, I got this email. Amazon will now prohibit creating, modifying, or posting content in exchange for compensation of any kind. As you can imagine, this put the kibosh on a lot of those paid reviews like that, and really everything changed at that point. Now, it doesn't mean that Amazon has all trustworthy reviews at this point by any stretch. In fact, we'll talk more about that, but they're doing a lot to try to at least minimize the amount of fake reviews that show up on their site. There's no way to keep up with it though. It's just insane the amount of products and reviews that they're hosting there. Fortunately, there are some solutions out there. If you've heard of Review Meta, their whole goal is to find out which products are actually legit with their reviews and which ones are not. There's another one called Fakespot.com that uses AI, and that will actually do the same thing. It will crawl through all the reviews, see which ones are coming from which users, how old they are, how frequently they come together, different things like that, and put all that together to find out what the actual rating for that specific product should be. If you haven't checked these out, you'll definitely want to take a look at those. I use them whenever I'm a little unsure of something, especially if it's something that I really want to compare one versus the other. Just recently, my daughter purchased some sandals, and we wanted to make sure that that 4.5-star rating that they had was legit. We popped the URL into Review Meta, and sure enough, the actual rating for that is 4.5 stars. These are good reviews, so we were happy and confident that we could move on with that. On the other hand, if you take a look at this product here, this one has a 4.1 star rating, but the authentic rating for this one, based on real reviews, is only 2.5 stars. It's a huge difference, and these sites can really help us spot those fakes like that. Amazon absolutely knows that this is an issue. So in fact, they have a huge amount of work going into preventing this sort of thing. They've said that they have more than 12,000 employees around the world dedicated to protecting its stores from fraud and abuse, including fake reviews. Okay, so here's the thing. That all happened, the shutting down of those incentivized reviews, 7 years ago. Home Depot and Lowe's, not only are they still doing this 7 years in, or 7 years after Amazon stopped doing it, but they're the ones doing it. They're the ones giving free products and offering these setups of these programs to make this easier for people to leave more reviews, which they know are getting a higher rating than non-incentivized reviews. The proof is right there. It's very clear that anybody who gets the product for free or receives some incentive for it is leaving a better review than someone who doesn't. The other rough part about this, there's no Fakespot or Review Meta for Home Depot or for Lowe's. From what I can tell, we're on our own on this one. There's no sites that I've seen. If you know of some, please leave those in the comments, but I can't find anything that helps us to know if a review on those sites is legit. So that does make me wonder, is it possible that by just incentivizing people to leave reviews in general, you're going to have a higher likelihood of a higher rating? That could very well be the case. But the fact is, that's different than what we experience on non-incentivized websites. What it means is we need to be a little bit more vigilant about what we're seeing there. They don't make it easy. In fact, for a lot of these had 1,000+ reviews, and I had to hit that view 10 more reviews button hundreds of times in order to be able to see all of the different reviews to gather the data that I gathered for this video. It's super tedious, and most people are never going to do that. But if you see a bunch of reviews that are from the Seeds program or from the Loop program, Sweepstakes entries, Home Depot review programs, anything like that, take that into consideration at least. It doesn't mean they're wrong or they're fake. There's a lot of people in these programs who are good, honest people, and they're putting in the time to do great reviews, but there's a lot who I think are just feeling maybe pressured to leave good reviews so that they stay in the program and keep getting free stuff. You got to consider that. I think it's an absolute reality based on the scores that we're seeing on these. The other big factor on this is, for example, with the review that we looked at earlier with the snowblower, we had 99 people out of less than 200, so the majority really, that were in the Lowe's Loop program. So they totally biased the ratings on that one. So if you're looking at that snowblower compared to the next snowblower, and you're like, well, that one actually has a better rating, one of them has the Loop program, the other one does not, I would trust the one that doesn't have the Loop program to be more accurate as far as the ratings are concerned. Fortunately, both Home Depot and Lowe's do at least a pretty decent job. They make an effort to be transparent about this stuff. If they're in the Loop program, you'll see the badge right there. If they're in the Seeds program, you'll see that badge as well. You'll see Sweepstakes entry or Home Depot review program. All of those are on there. Just to be clear, I investigated all kinds of products from both the Lowe's and Home Depot websites, and it all got started with this guy right here. This is the Rust-Oleum 5-in-1 spray nozzle that I did a video on last week, and I saw that it had two separate types of reviews. The people who were in the Seeds program rated this a lot higher than the people who were not. And that's what led me down this rabbit hole in the first place. That's what got me looking into all of these different things and wanting to share with you what I found. I also tested things like miter saws, Milwaukee blades, a home renovation pack, a foam cannon, all kinds of stuff. I just tested anything and everything on there that I could find that used either the Seeds or the Loop program, Sweepstakes, or one of those others. Personally, I don't really feel like you can completely trust the reviews from any site, Home Depot and Lowe's included. You're always going to get people on there who are trying to work the system and get their products to have better reviews than what's actually reflected of how people feel. Now with that, there's a few things that you can look out for. Watch out for all of those badges and those programs that we talked about, but also in the actual review itself, look for people who list pros and cons, who talk about their actual experience with it being used maybe in a project or in a DIY effort that they've made. So those things can help tell you that, yeah, this is an actual person with actual experience with it. Watch out for all of those negative 1-star reviews, especially if they're reviewed for like late shipping or my mailman was ugly or whatever the case may be. So if you found things like that, obviously discard those and make sure that you're not letting that affect your opinion. Do your own homework, do your own research, and use the reviews as a data point. So here's my question to you. Is it wrong that Home Depot and Lowe's are not only providing the incentive programs for these to happen, but also doing so knowing that they're going to get better reviews on this, which is going to kind of skew the whole system? And they're doing it on certain products, but not others. That's one of the things that gets me, is that if you aren't part of their Seed program or their Loop program, you stand way less of a chance of getting sales because you're not giving away your stuff and getting those higher ratings. So what are your thoughts on that? I'd love to hear about that in the comments section below. If you want to learn more about this little guy that started this whole investigation off, you can check that video out right here. I'm Nils with Learn to DIY. Thanks for watching.